gonna wait until we're a little bit more ahead of time. I'll get the 10 bonus, 10% tech bonus. Although I forget that we also have a couple tech bonuses. I don't know if we got them all yet, but a little bit of a chill video. You can watch this while we're playing. I didn't like how the music was conflicting with the music was bugging me on the video of the last one. It was conflicting with the music in the game. What the? Why is this 8-month-old video on here? It would be kind of cool to see this. I mean, not in the prison, but just see what we got going on with the. I don't know. Wrestling. I don't want to get involved in this, dude. Also, that's an old. Well, that's not an old video. This is an old video. This is new, but it's just drama. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. This is new, but it matters. Um, so yeah, we'll skip back to this. I just don't like getting involved with like streamer drama. So I know that's just like a dude being a dick to his dog, but I don't know. This is current, so we'll see that. I know this is gonna make it blocked in probably England and Europe, but whatever. I just wanted to see this video. Mainly, I just queue up the videos I want to watch while we're doing the lives, so we'll see. But yeah, what the fuck, running them over. Jeez, holy shit. Jeez, that sucks. I mean, the nationality doesn't entirely matter. It just matters that these the people that they invite in are like not to be a dick, but they're not as like it was just that they're not the same culture, and so they don't really care about the people who they're there. In a way, it is an invasion because like they essentially consider it like they don't care about these people, so like they're just like they're just basically treating them as like, yeah, I don't know. I think they're, yeah. So I'm trying to listen to the video and talk at the same time, but basically, um, yeah, they're not sending their best. Is what basically what I'm saying. And also, it's not just that they're not sending their best; they're sending their not best, probably their worst, and they're also probably trying to. I would probably try and say they're not just sending their worst or not their best. Basically, they're essentially like, how do I put it? Not only are they not sending their best, they're sending their worst, but their worst, and it's people, auto bro, auto man, Tunis, slave raid, because in this game there literally is Barbary pirates, and that's basically what these guys are. These guys are essentially Tunisians and Ottomans combined. So that's I'll just let the video run. I'm not gonna make too much commentary on this one just for um, censorship reasons on YouTube and Twitch. Mainly on Twitch. I'm not really as worried about censorship on YouTube and Kick not as much at all. But I know that on Twitch sometimes there'll be like um, community censorship or whatever you want to call it, but between like not necessarily by the platform as much because well, maybe the platform also, but yeah. Capitalism and corpos aren't the same thing. I hate corps and I hate corporations and I hate corpo type of jobs and like corporate culture, but I don't think capitalism is the same thing as that. That's all I'm gonna say about that, and maybe that's not all I'm gonna say. So they don't like people like that, and I don't hold anything against them. They can have their opinions, but people like that don't like capitalism. Yes, I agree. Sometimes capitalism can go too far with corpos, and but like And I'm not gonna make the argument of like, we'll let the game run. But I'm not gonna make the argument where I say like, I don't really normally make this argument that like that's not real capitalism, whatever people say. But what I will say is, people tend to not really realize that capitalism didn't always involve um, just megacorps. That's just because it has like escalated so much in consolidation. It's the same reason why the economy is inevitably going to crash. Is because they didn't do any trust busting for like 100 years, and essentially what they did was they didn't do trust busting, but what they did do was let the mega corps become more and more mega by buying up the small corporation stock, and essentially, so the bigger corporations would buy the small corporation stock, and then they buy them out and absorb them into that company. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's done. Well, there is plenty wrong with that. What I will say is there's plenty wrong with that, but what there isn't things wrong with is say it's just say they passed a law where they let only people retirement accounts and company pensions or whatever, or like pensions for like employers and like retirement type of things, people retiring, maybe not retiring, but just any like investment account where you like it's individual or like collectively individual. So say it's like kind of like CalPERS or like some like organizations like pension fund. What I would say about that is like if you don't if you don't like stop megacorps from like buying up other megacorp stock, they're eventually going to consolidate it into like 1 to 7 or 5 megacorps, which is what we have now with the Magnificent Seven or whatever they call it. It used to be the Fang. It was just the top few stocks in GDP in market cap, but we don't really have any laws preventing companies from buying other companies, and that's the big problem of like why it's eventually going to cause a crash, because it's like 3 to 5. I don't remember how many companies, but there's a certain number of companies that have like I think it's like 4 companies have like 60% of the market share of the entire U.S. stock market, and that's like Nvidia, Microsoft, or no, I don't know if it's not Oracle. It's maybe Apple, and then there's one other one that's like kind of close. So there's 4, and then one that's close to the fourth of the. We're taking the fourth, but yeah, basically it's like all the GDP of the entire U.S. stock market is in tech. So I mean, realistically, if you're trading, you're not doing anything shit. You're not doing shit unless you're doing it in tech stocks, because they're doing all the movement in the entire market, because that's where like the fucking corporate circle jerk of like buying each other's shares and then pumping each other's stock up is going on. But it's like you just gotta realize that like the game was rigged from the start, boys. Fallout reference. Anyway, let's get the game running again. Speaking of the game, I'm gonna wait until we have let's say whatever double this amount is. We'll do the broker's office. Or what's one that would pair well with trade? Let's do the next level of this. you build this in the same? I built this there. Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. We're gonna wait until we get 300 though, or maybe we'll do 4. Well, if I'm gonna wait till I have 400, I might as well wait and then build this right here. If I see these provinces, these forts right here, no, they didn't delete the fort, just clicking through that. If I see this fort fall, I'm immediately going to declare war on Venice. Or maybe if I see, no, because the next one is Treviso, and if I wait until Treviso starts to fall or be sieged, then they'll immediately have Venice, and then the war will be over, and they'll focus on it. Yeah, if I see this fort fall, or is there any other ones? Maybe we'll work on bringing our troops back from the New World, and just leave the Marines out here. Actually, maybe if we support rebels from Ferrara, yeah, we'll build the spy network rather than going directly to war. Because I don't want to waste our good reputation with well, we don't have that great relations, but we have decent relations with them. I'm gonna steal maps for the Guinea region. That's literally, dude. That's literally. Okay. Yeah, but that's been around way longer, you dumbass. It's been around the VOC fucking over here. To be fair, I don't know the context, but I know enough to know that that flag has been around a long ass time. VOC. I don't know what the deal is with this, but It's just I think it just has colonial, like colonial whatever history, the VOC, and now they're like raging about it. And not these guys, but um, you know, too fucking loud. Fucking Crusades. I think it's weird how they accuse these people as being like dictators or whatever you want to call it. They're accusing these random like protesters of being dictators. I don't like. Obviously, I'm not there. I'm not from that country, but like when you have actual dictator hobbies and habits and like methods of like corralling these people with these little fucking like vans and shit and the horses, that seems like really ironic. Like I don't know, like it seems ironic that these like Dutch government police EU people are like just like running them over with fucking cars and shit later in the video. I don't, we'll watch the rest of it, but I can get this feeling that this is gonna go bad, and it might not get the video demonetized because I'm not monetized yet, but get it like not flagged because I don't really think they do that anymore. But it might get it pushed out less, which is fine, but whatever. We're kind of behind on admin. I think we're gonna hold off on ideas for now. But we are gonna upgrade. We'll see. Can we upgrade it yet, or do we need 1,000? Okay, we need 1,000. So what we will do though is, since we already have, holy shit, that's fucking loud. Turn this down a bit. Turn it up a little bit so it's loud enough to hear. Or what the fuck? Oh, there's crazy. Secret police, Stasi. Yet they freaking like. Well, I know the I think the Stasi. I don't remember who the Stasi were, but you know that's basically who these guys are in Europe. I don't understand why like people don't see the connection between like how these people who are essentially, you know, they're like protesting, like I don't know, like when someone's just protesting something that's kind of wrong from like just a moral perspective, and then you have a government like you have a government who's like running them over with fucking vans and shit and like horses. Like I mean, obviously they're not running them over right now in the video, but like in the intro here. Let's see if we can. It's in the. It's in this guy right here. So literally, well, okay, that's not really the same thing, but that was after they did this. That was after them they were running them over. So they ran them over, but then they did that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say like what's going on there. I don't really know. We'll keep watching it. I feel like the Ottomans are gonna get a coalition. looking literally like a war. What the fuck? They're gonna run them over? What the fuck? It's fucked up. What the fuck? I have no idea what it's saying.